Guys, don't let social media make you live like beyond your means or above your means. Hello lovelies, in this chit chat get ready with me, we talked about living below your means. We talked about these influencers and not letting them tempt you into shopping more. We talked about wedding culture. We talked about content creation. We talked about how social media is impacting our everyday lives. We talked about how you don't need a rebrand just because it's about to be a new year, because you're perfect as you are. All right, let's get into it. This is my first sort of like chit chat get ready with me, so let's see how it goes, because I still have ADHD and it's really hard for me to like focus on more than one thing at a time. But I was like, I have things I want to chat about, so let me just do that while I'm getting ready. Kill two birds with one stone. So for some context, I am headed to a wedding very soon, so I'm getting dressed to go to the wedding. This is like our good friends that are getting married. They live in DC. My boyfriend's actually a groomsman for the wedding. So yeah, I'll be headed there in a few. So about to do my makeup. We got the outfit on the bed. And I think a good place to start is just generally like social media and comparison in general. I think a lot of times like I saw this tweet where someone was basically talking about like we're not meant to know so much about people's lives. And I mean, years ago, before social media really became a thing, because I mean, back in my day, when I was like younger and growing up, like we didn't really have social media. I also went to boarding school, so like we didn't have access to like the internet every single day. Like we would be able to check like our, I don't know if anyone remembers like Bebo and the other like MySpace. We'll be able to check our pages like maybe once a week when we had like IT class, and you like open another tab just to check what's going on. But yeah, you weren't seeing updates. And then I remember then Facebook came out, and then like people started posting photos, and then that's slowly when it started becoming a thing. But in general, we weren't really seeing like daily updates of what our friends were doing, of what their houses look like, of like how much they were traveling, of their like relationship. We weren't seeing all of that. Even with like Instagram and thing, at least like it used to be like just posts, but now when they launch stories, all of a sudden you could get like a play-by-play of somebody's day. And I think sometimes like what makes it even a little bit more like weird or interesting is that a lot of times it's people that you don't even really know. So like maybe you meet someone once at a party, or you meet them like, you know, wherever, right? And you exchange Instagrams, which I don't like doing. I don't like exchanging Instagrams with people I've just met, because I'm like, the chances of us talking again is very slim. So why are we following each other on Instagram? But yeah, so basically now with the influx of like the launch of Instagram stories, all of a sudden you're seeing like play-by-play of people's day. And we know there are some people that love to post on Instagram stories like from breakfast right until they go to bed. So now it's like you're really seeing people's days, like you're seeing what they're up to, you're seeing all these things. And if you're in a position maybe where like, I don't know, maybe you feel insecure about an area of your life, or you're just in a tough position, I think seeing people, you know, living well according to what you see online, because you never know what's really real and what's just for like online, it can really put you in a bad place. Because like, for example, if you're unemployed, I've been unemployed a couple of times, and I mean, this never really bothered me, but like if you're someone who's unemployed and you're seeing maybe people talk about work, or you're seeing people like travel and do all these things that you probably can't do because you're not working and you don't have the money and things like that, it can really trigger you. So I really think that like in general, we need to like be more cautious of the content that we're consuming on social media, and even just like how we use social media. For me also, I actually started unfollowing people, and if they followed me, I'll remove them as a follower. If there are people like I was just talking about earlier, where it's like, we've met, we never talked again, why am I following you? It's so funny when you see people, you guys can tell me, maybe it's not that serious, but it's so weird when you see people that you don't talk to. Or like, I know if we bump into each other, like let's say we ever bump into each other outside somewhere, or I see you somewhere, I would never go up to talk to you because it'll be weird, right? But like, you look at my stories every single day. I don't know, guys, isn't that like a little weird? Like, I want to be connected with people that I know like I will talk to. I don't know. And obviously it's different if you're a content creator, because there are gonna be a lot of people that follow you that you would never talk to like in real life. But it's just very interesting when it's someone maybe you went to school with like 20 years ago, and it's like, why are we still following each other? I don't know. It's very interesting. So that's something I think about, just like comparison culture, and making sure, especially I'm a content creator, the type of comparison I usually have is maybe about like, maybe someone just started posting content very recently, like I'm talking about 2 months ago, and then they just do really well, you know, they got lucky, and it's like, 100,000 followers. I'm like, I have been posting on Instagram for multiple years. I mean, not very consistently, but like, dang, like, how come it was that quick for you? So that's the kind of comparison that I find myself getting into, where it's like, okay, I've been posting, I've been doing all these things, and then this person, it just seems like it's so easy for them. Like, what am I doing wrong? And things like that. And that can like trigger me. But what's good, like I said, is for you to recognize what your triggers are, so that you're able to either take a step back, or if someone's really like, it's like a particular person that's triggering you, you can like maybe unfollow them or mute some people. People use the mute button, guys. I used to be one of those people that's like, I don't need to mute them. Like, what's the point of muting people if you're following them? But I kind of get it, because maybe there's someone you can't unfollow because it'll be weird. Maybe it's someone you actually know, but like, I don't know, their content's annoying, or you just don't want to see like their content. The mute button comes in really handy, and it really doesn't say anything about you. It's just, again, you protecting your mental health if there are things that trigger you. Especially if it's maybe someone that's living a lifestyle that you would really like to live, but like you're just not in that position. I think it could be good to mute them. For me also, especially because I love fashion, I love shopping, I notice that sometimes if I'm seeing creators that all they do is promote shopping, like it's a new haul every single day, or it's a new bag, it's new this, like I don't really follow creators like that, just because I'm not that person that wants to be spending money like that. I don't want to have to shop all the time. I don't want to get tempted to shop and buy all these things that I truly don't need. So if you are really trying to, like, if you're in a position where you're like budgeting or things like that, I really recommend that you don't follow creators that shop a lot and like always show off their newest purchases, because that can be triggering, or it's just not the mindset that you need to be in, because you're in a season of saving, which is a great season to be in, especially in this economy. Guys, don't let social media make you live like beyond your means or above your means. Like I said, you'll see people buying things or doing things, or maybe taking a trip every month. You have no idea how they're paying for it. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, if you see someone living some sort of lavish lifestyle, oh, it's credit cards. It has to be credit cards. Like, sometimes I feel like people put other people down, or try to say like, oh, it must be credit cards, or they're probably in a lot of debt to like make themselves feel better. And I'm like, no, some people actually just got it like that. And like, a lot of times, like, just because you see someone living a very lavish lifestyle doesn't mean it's credit card debt. It doesn't mean some horrible thing. Like, some people can actually afford it. So don't try and tell yourself that to make yourself feel better. But just in general, like, don't try to match whatever lifestyle you see your friends having or you see online. I really just recommend in general always living below your means. And I've talked about this in a lot of my content. It's like, just like scaling back, especially I feel like lifestyle creep is a real thing, especially when I moved to tech and I started making more money. It's very easy to be like, oh, well, I'm making more money now, I can go out to eat more, I can move to a better apartment, or I could buy myself more stuff. And it's like, nothing is ever guaranteed. There are layoffs all the time. You never know where you're in a season where, God forbid, you need to like pay for like medical bills or whatever it is. Like, it's very easy to like be doing really well and then not be doing really well. So I'm always like, live below your means. I live in a big city, New York, so rent is astronomical. And it's one of those cases where, like, yeah, my apartment, I don't love my apartment. It's old, creaky, the floorboards creak, but the rent is good. For New York, it's good. And it's like, I'm not about to go live in a more expensive modern apartment just yet. Like, right now, like, let me keep my head down, let me save, let me do all those things. And it's great because I've been unemployed. I've been in this apartment for like, well, right now I'm in Nigeria, I forgot to say that, but I've been in this apartment for my New York apartment for about 4 years, I think. And I've been unemployed, I think two times while I've been in this apartment, like not working for months. So I'm always like, oh my God, what if I was living in a more expensive apartment? That I would have felt that way more. But because I was somewhere where that was already below my means, like it was a apartment that I could pay with my lower salary before I transitioned into tech. Because of that, even when I was unemployed, I was able to pay for rent for months with my emergency rent fund. But if it was a case where like I was living somewhere like that cost twice as much, I wouldn't only have had like twice. I wouldn't have had, my emergency rent fund would be cut like in half, basically, if that makes sense. So don't let these creators and social media and the internet make you do, beyond what you need to do. What's that saying that someone said that like if you can't buy it twice, then you can't really afford it? 2 or 3 times, I think. Like if there's something you want to get and you can't afford to buy it 2 or 3 times, you don't need to be getting it. That's like advice I saw somewhere. So that's what I have to say about social media and comparison. Live your life. You're not behind. Everyone has their own timeline. Everyone has, you know, their own path. Don't compare your chapter to someone else's. Like just because they accomplished it by a certain age doesn't mean that you need to accomplish it by that certain age. Some things that take people 10 years to do, other people it takes it 1 year, you know, just like I was talking about social media and growth is like they were able to grow their pages very quickly. Like some people start YouTube and they're like 100,000 subscribers very quickly, and someone else has been like working at it for like twice as much and they have like 100 subscribers. So everyone's just on their own path. So you're gonna make yourself miserable by trying to compare yourself to them. So just live your life, guys. And this is a reminder for myself too. Live your life. You know, everything good will come. What's supposed to happen will happen, and it'll be on your own timeline. Another thing I wanted to chat about was just like the effects of social media in real life, and just like how our reliance on social media and just our habits around it, you can see the effects of it like out in the real world. An example is like I went to the grwm concert at Madison Square Garden this year. Guys, this year has been so long, I actually don't remember things I did like in the first 6 months of it, but I'm pretty sure I went to that concert this year, but I don't remember. But when I was there, this girl in the row in front of us, she had her camera out the whole time. And y'all, this concert is like what, 2+ hours. She literally had her camera on the whole time, and not like as if she was filming the concert, she was filming herself. So she had like the big light and everything. And y'all, I'm a content creator, I'm not hating on anyone taking content, but she literally had her phone out for 2 hours, like just like filming herself, like enjoying the concert. Like, you know, when people put all those like concert clips on their Instagram story and it's like 100 clips, this girl's probably that person. And I'm just like, dang, like you're not even enjoying the concert, you're not enjoying where you are right now. Like I film when I'm out too, but I get my like couple clips here and there and then I'm done, I put my phone away. But like to have your phone out for 2 hours filming yourself, and not like as if she put the phone down somewhere stationary and she was just like filming herself. It was like it was out, like her hand was moving, she was filming herself. And I'm like, this is so interesting to see this in real life. Like when they say like influencers out in the wild, it's just so interesting to see someone like not taking the experience of where they actually were and just like film themselves like constantly. Another example was when I was in Kyoto in Japan and I went to this jazz record bar, which I was obsessed with. I had seen it on TikTok, or I heard about it on Reddit, I think, which is great for travel tips, by the way. And I think I went there. It's very small, like the reservation, very hard to get into, but we got there as soon as they opened and they literally just had 2 seats left at the bar. So those are the seats we took. And I remember this girl came in, I think she was trying to get in, like do a walk-in, and they're like, oh, sorry, like there's no space and there's no room and anything. And she's like, okay. And then she immediately brings out her phone and like films, and it's a very small, intimate place. She starts to film around. She films the man that owns the bar who does the records, and he's dressed nicely in his bow tie and everything. And she films him, almost like you're coming to a zoo and you just like film. And like it's so interesting that you're about to film this, even though you're not staying. Like they told you there's no room and you're gonna have to leave. But she was like, okay, let me just take a video just to say I was here or whatever it was. And she was filming and then she left. And I was just like, that is so interesting, because it's like we've gotten to this place where we have to capture content no matter what. Again, y'all, I'm not saying this to be judgy, because I am a content creator. I travel. I also captured content at that place. I get it. But it's so interesting when you remove yourself from it and you're looking at it from, you know, that point of view, like you're looking at someone else doing it. And it reminds me of this article that I saw on Substack. Substack is really great for like reading. I guess it's so funny how we forgot that we used to read blog posts because before social media became a thing, and now everyone's going back to Substack. Reading a lot of interesting articles about psychology and social media and things like that. And one of the things, I read this article just talking about how we have to capture everything, right? Like, did we really enjoy something if we didn't capture it? I've also seen people talk about like even like gym selfies. It's like, okay, you work out at the gym, why do you have to post like the mirror selfie showing that you worked out, which I do. Like, why do we have to do that? And it made me think and sort of even question my habits as well. Like, what part of this is because I genuinely want to share this experience, and what part of it starts to become performative, which is a good question to like ask yourself. And I like to share, I like to post content, but it's very easy to become like, okay, if I don't post this, like what does that say? Like would I, like why am I posting it basically? You think about just like when you post things, what is the reason behind posting it? So the article just talks about like people posting like gym selfies, like why is that a thing? Or like when you travel, like you're documenting every single moment. I used to think I wanted to be a travel content creator because I love capturing content when I travel. I get a lot of compliments around the content that I capture on trips. And I was like, oh, this would be great. Like, let me make this into a thing. I started pitching hotels. I was pitching like resorts, like, hey, let me come. Like I was doing it, right? And then I was miserable because I would go on trips. I never got any like paid opportunities or anything, so I was still just doing it for me. And I would go on trips and literally just feel exhausted. It's like, shout out to travel content creators. I'm sure there's a way, like I'm sure some of them love it and they mastered a way of doing it, but there's just no way you're really in the moment when you have to like remember to capture every single second of your travel. I captured a lot of content of my Japan trip. Like you can see my Japan vlog on my channel. I posted a TikTok every single day, and that trip was about 9-10 days. And it was a lot. It was a lot because it's like you're doing it, you're seeing around, but then it's like, remember to take a photo here. I have to remember to take a video of this. My phone was always dying. I'll have to stop and charge it. Like my partner is always having to take videos and photos of me. And I'm like, oh my God, I really wish I was one of those people that travel and don't take anything. They literally just post one photo, like announcing that they're in the country, or just like one cute photo in front of a temple or a museum, and they don't post anything for the rest of the trip. And I'm like, I wish I was like that, because I'm sure it's just way more relaxing, but I just love to share and create content. So I had to like get to the point where I was like, okay, where is the balance between wanting to share your experiences, wanting to share your life, wanting to create content, but also remembering to live your life. And I'm still trying to figure out that balance. I'm getting better. Like there are some trips where I'll just post a couple things. I wouldn't do as like intricate like photos as I would do, or videos, or I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna use one day to film everything I want to, and then I'm done. So it is a balance, but I've just been thinking a lot about that. Like if people actually ask themselves, like, why am I posting this? Like, do I want to? Am I trying to show off? Am I trying to portray an image of myself that I want people to think of when they think about me or when they see my posts? I don't know. It's all very interesting and fascinating. And it's really, I would love to know what you guys think. Like, why do you, if you post content, let me know why you post. And if you don't post, like, why don't you post? Because I think that's really interesting to like sort of figure out what's in everyone's head around that like particular topic. Sometimes you even see like with friends also, like you see the people, you go out to dinner with them, and you know, they have to like take a photo of every single thing, like and sometimes like, because I do content, like there's sometimes that I go out with my friends and I just don't post anything, because you also don't want to be in that situation. My friends are great and supportive. They've never made any like comments or remarks about, oh, another photo, you know, they're friends like that. But my friends have never done that. They're always game, they're always down, but you do have to also give yourself that boundary. Like, I don't need to film every single dinner that I do with my friends. I don't need to film every single outing that I do with my friends. Like sometimes leave your phone in your purse, leave it face down on the table, and just enjoy the company you're in. Like, yes, it's your job to like make content, but especially since I'm not getting paid from content creation yet, I'm not doing too much. Like if I was getting like, you know, the 6-figure checks some content creators be doing, then I understand why it's like, okay, I need to post all the time, even though then you should still have boundaries. But especially since I'm not getting paid and I'm still trying to work my way up, I'm like, I need to still enjoy my life in the meantime. So that's, yeah, so enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. Sometimes go out with your friends, don't post anything, because it's so interesting. Like social media is just like, even with friendship, like I don't know if you guys have seen, like sometimes people have talked about like Instagram story birthday politics, like who posted which friend on her birthday, or she didn't post me so I'm not posting her, or like everyone posted her but no one ever posts me. I don't know. I kind of wish everyone would stop posting people on their birthdays. It's just so much pressure, because especially for me, I don't mind posting like my friends on their birthday, but sometimes I'm generally not posting on my story that day, or like I'm taking like a little social media break. But then it's like, okay, everyone posted her Like, I don't want her to think, I don't know, you start to be like, I don't want it to be like there's beef or whatever, so let me just like log into Instagram and post, even though I wasn't planning on posting this week. So sometimes there's pressure there where it's like you don't really want to post just for like whatever reasons, but it's someone's birthday, so then you have to post. So I'm like, can we just tell Instagram like not to allow birthday story posts? Like, let's just go back to texting and calling. And that's another thing. Like, I would rather have a friend call me on the phone, not a text, like actually call me and wish me happy birthday than post me on their story. Like, I would rather you do that, because I think a lot of times also with social media, it's made people lazy when it comes to maintaining friendships, because it's like, oh, I posted on my story, and then they didn't even call or send you a text, but they think them posting is like me saying happy birthday. Or also just in terms of like going back to what we were talking about before, when it's like seeing everyone's updates on social media, that gives you a false sense of being close to someone, because it's like, oh, well, I saw when she got a new job, I saw that she moved to a different apartment, I saw she went on vacation, and you think you know this person, you think that you're close with them, but you're not. And this even comes down to close friends. Like, I can see my best friend posting things on her social media all the time. That doesn't mean I'm maintaining the relationship because I just see stuff on Instagram and I like, or LOL, oh my God, that's so cool, or you look so pretty. And you start to get lazy and complacent, because it's like, oh, we talk on Instagram all the time. Like, we're always sharing stories, we're always DMing. But it's like, when last did you guys meet up in person if you're able to? When last did you actually pick up the phone? So social media is not a replacement for actually putting in the work in your friendships. Like, we all need to wake up from that. Like, actually pick up the phone and actually talk to your friend, and don't rely on social media to like keep tabs on what's going on in their life. So another thing that I feel like social media has sort of ruined is weddings, and that's very apt since I'm about to go to a wedding. The contentification of weddings is a thing that needs to be studied. Like, they need to study it. I mean, maybe just like a natural, it naturally happened just because of how social media is. Like, it makes sense. Like, if people are sharing parts of their lives, a wedding is a big part of people's lives. It makes sense that like eventually that was going to become a thing. But I think sometimes we've lost the plot with that. And I say that as someone who's Nigerian, who comes from a very big wedding culture. Weddings are everything here. There are multiple day events, multiple photos, hundreds of people attend your wedding. It's like a lot. So it makes sense that like content ended up also just adding to that. Like, people do all these photo shoots, people want to like trend online. It's really hard. And then you see people actually start to make decisions around their wedding based on social media and like content. Like, oh, I want to work with this particular designer or this particular vendor, because if I work with them, I might get like published on like Bella Nigeria Weddings, you know, the big Instagram account that posts all the weddings. So they do that. And I mean, this is not really just, I don't want to say it's just a Nigerian issue. Like, obviously, even like other cultures, or like, you know, especially like in the West, like wealthy people or celebrities also work with like particular vendors so they can get into like Vogue weddings or something like that. So it's just a thing in general. But it's like, I think I was actually having this conversation with my mom where it's like, I think when you're getting married, you need, and you're a content creator, you need to be very careful about making sure that you're still keeping your wedding personal to you, and you're making decisions for you and not what you think would look best online, or what you think people would want to see from you, or you know what I mean? Like, I also saw this amazing tweet that was like, and I'd seen someone say this before, but then I saw the tweet again where it was like, the bride to influencer pipeline or something needs to be studied. I'm definitely remixing what she said, but so she was basically just talking about like how getting married launches your influencer career. And I've seen someone talk about that on TikTok, and I've seen real life examples of people who didn't have that many followers or whatever, or they were posting consistently, maybe nothing had really gone viral, but as soon as they got married or were getting married and documenting that process, they blew up. Like, people love to talk about weddings, and people were taking us along wedding dress shopping, like showing the dresses they were looking at, like, look at my invitations, look at my photos, this is how I'm doing my guest seating chart, this is my venue walkthrough. Like, people literally taking us throughout their whole wedding journey. And at the end of it, especially if the wedding was like, you know, really aesthetic and just like a certain vibe, they got like thousands of followers just from that. Like, people have literally kicked off their career like that. Or there's that other TikToker, I can't remember her name, Jasmine, I'm not sure, I'll put it up on the screen, but she literally all throughout her wedding had this like schedule more power to her, where she was posting multiple TikToks on the day of her wedding. I think she had like a schedule where she wanted to film. She was super organized about it. She had like a schedule where she wanted to film, and then she like had people filming it. I think her best friend is a content creator as well, was helping her put it out. But like, imagine like you're getting married and you literally like, I'm gonna keep posting on my social, but that's what you have to do. It's your job. And I think she's said publicly that like her influencer career helped pay for her wedding and things like that. But it's just like, dang, like I'm not, I don't know her at all. I'm not gonna put feelings into what, I don't want to put words into what she might have been feeling, but I'm like, I wonder what the difference between that day where you had to record all those TikToks and if you didn't have to do all of that. And I wonder if there'll be a difference in how you feel, because no matter what you say about like, I was still in the moment, like it was fine, you're not fully 100% in the moment. If it's like, okay, I have to remember, like I need to get a TikTok in my dress, I need to do that, I need to do that. So I even asked myself, like, if I'm getting married, like how much of that do I want to share? Because I do understand, like as a content creator, it's like, it's easy, right? It's like, it's your wedding. There's so many content ideas you can come up with that. You don't need to be scratching like, okay, scratching your head like, what am I going to post about? Like, weddings are so easy. You can talk about your dress, the rings, the guy, your flowers. You can have content for a year straight, and people love weddings. People love love. People love dating content. People love relationships. So it's very easy to take that route. But it's like, I think boundaries, and you don't want to put yourself in a position where something that's supposed to be so personal, you're offering it up to get judged and criticized. And then no matter how you look at it, you're going to be looking for validation in some sort of way. And by that, I mean, because of how social media is and the algorithm, once you put something out there, you put a post, you could have loved the post, you could have been like, oh my God, I love this post, whatever it is, but then it only gets 2 likes. So then even if you loved it when you put it out there, because it only gets 2 likes, something in your head is like, okay, maybe it wasn't that good. Or dang, I love this, but because of the response, it's like, oh, well, now I don't like it anymore. You start to feel negative about it, even though just before you posted it, you loved it, you were excited about it. So I think when you put something so personal like your wedding, like getting married to somebody, like something that took months of planning, a lot of money and all those things, and let's say you put out your wedding video or you put something out and the response isn't what you maybe expected it to be, I feel like you will start to associate that negatively with your wedding. Maybe I'm reading too deeply into it, but it's like, you had a great time, you did all these things, and then you put it out there and like no one cares. And it's like, dang, like I guess I thought it was special, maybe it's not. You start to compare yourself to other weddings that maybe got more love or things like that. When I was scrolling on TikTok, I did see this bride. She was really sad, talking about how she thought she planned an amazing wedding. She really thought like, you know, I loved my wedding, I thought it was great, I really want to share it. And she reached out to multiple publications and no one wanted to feature the wedding. I mean, they didn't say anything bad. I think it was just like not interested, or she didn't get a response or whatever it was. And she started to feel bad. Like, I really thought I planned a great wedding that deserved to be featured, but none of the publications accepted her. So then now she's sad on TikTok, and I'm like, just, you enjoyed the day. Like, you had a great day for yourself. I'm sure your guests loved it. You loved it. Don't allow the reception from people you don't even know who claim to be the tastemakers. Don't let that put you down about your wedding. So that's what I think the slippery slope about wedding content is. It's like, it's so personal that like, I fear that putting it out there for public consumption to a certain level might not be a great idea. So that's something I think about. I'm like, I will share wedding content, but I do think about how I will do it in a healthy way. Really asking myself, why am I posting this? What am I looking for here? And really trying to work my way to really wanting to share it just because I want to share it, and not caring about whatever reception I get from it. If nobody cares, cool. If nobody likes it, cool. So I think I'm working my way to that. It's just really hard because of likes and things like that. There's just like a visual like proof in your face all the time showing you that nobody cared about your content. Like, you post a video. Literally, I posted this video. This is a great example. I posted this video that I really, really liked. And it did not do well at all on TikTok. It like flopped. And I'm like, I know this content is good, but it's just the algorithm was messing me up. And sometimes that's just a fact. Like, you have a great content and it's just the algorithm. So I started to feel like, dang, like I really liked it. I don't know why I didn't do it. And I started to feel sad about it. And I just had to brush it off. Like, I loved it. I love filming. I love putting it out there. The few people that commented loved it also. And that just needs to be enough, and just move on. So I don't know. That's just it. The contentification of weddings has just been very interesting for me to see. Because we have 11 more days till the end of the year, I quickly have to talk about goals and just like my feelings around goal setting, my feelings around like New Year's resolutions and just things like that. So the first thing, I guess, is just like, I of course didn't accomplish all the goals I had set for 2025, and I think previously I would really beat myself up for that. But you actually don't realize like how much time it takes to accomplish some goals, and like sometimes you and how much power we really don't have outside of the hard work that we put into achieving the goal. So you could be like, I want to lose a certain amount of like weight, or I want to save a certain amount of money, and just like the year is so long, 365 days. You could have started out with the intentions to save money, and then maybe like you had a car accident and now you have to put some money towards that, or just like you needed to pay for something, or you got an unexpected bill. Like things pop up. So as long as like you really tried, like you were putting money away like every month, you're really trying. If at the end of the year you still didn't reach your savings goal, I don't think you need to beat yourself up about that. I think at the end of the year we should be reflecting about the little steps that we took to accomplishing the goal, and not just looking, oh, did I accomplish the goal or not? I don't think it's that black and white. It's very nuanced. And using a specific example for me, like one of my goals was like I would get signed to an agent by the end of this year, like an acting agent or commercial agent or something like that. And it's 11 days to go. I mean, who knows what could happen, but I have not been signed to an agent. And again, I underestimated like how much time it actually takes to do that. So I had to get new headshots taken. Like the photographer I wanted to work with had a months-long waiting list. So I kept on waiting, and I was just like, okay, this is taking too long. I don't think I'm ever going to get off a waiting list. Let me find somebody else. And that took a while to research someone else, find someone else, book someone else, and then I had to get a consultation with somebody else to help me figure out like what clothes to wear, because it's a whole thing when you want to do acting headshots. It's like you have to figure out where your character types are. Okay, how should I wear my hair? The different looks you have to have. I'll show you guys what the headshots look like, but it's a whole process. So this takes months. So it's already like what, 2-3 months have gone by, and you've just confirmed your headshot photographer. And then you take the headshots and it's like, okay, let me look at like the acting clips I have, like the samples of your work that you have acting. And then you do that and it's like, okay, I need to refilm this. I need to refilm this. I had to refilm a bunch of new material, and it takes a while to find a new scene to film that will match your vibe that you're trying to go for. And then you have to memorize it, and then you have to find someone to read with you, and then you have to film it. And then once I filmed them, I got feedback like, hey, we want you to do this differently. You should try this instead. So I was refilming. And then of course life is happening in between all this. I traveled for work twice, I think. I have a very busy job. I had other things going on. I'm posting content. I'm doing so many things. So again, time goes by, and I literally just filmed my last clip like last week or so, or 2 weeks ago. And then it was already close to the holidays, and I was like, dang, like it's already too late to submit to agents because it's the end of the year. Like no one's trying to check their email and do all that stuff this close to the holidays. So at the end of the year, it's very easy for me to be like, well, I didn't get signed to an agent, I failed. But I'm like, no, actually look at all the steps that I did. I was in acting classes. I've auditioned multiple times. I had a callback. I took my headshots. I have my acting clips now. I updated my resume. I've done so many of the baby steps to get me there. So even if, yes, I didn't hit the big picture goal, I think it's more important to look at the different objectives that I had that I was able to hit. So I think sometimes I'm very hard on myself, where it's like, okay, well, I didn't accomplish this and I failed. And now I'm just trying to zoom out a little bit and be like, okay, what are all the little steps that I actually did to get here, and actually celebrating that instead. So I really recommend that you guys do that. Like, don't look at your goals. Like, don't be like, I didn't accomplish this thing. Like, look at all the baby steps. You should also look through your camera roll, because like I said, this year has been so long. I've forgotten things that happened in the start of the year. So it's really good to like look at your camera roll. If you keep a journal, maybe go look at your journal. I try to keep an accomplishment jar, but I keep forgetting, like just like a happiness jar I keep, where I like write down like all the things that made me happy in the year. And at the end of the year, you can like open them up and look at it. Like, went to Beyonce concert, went on this very nice date night, like, hung out with friends and had a blast. Like, you can just write out different things that made you happy. And then at the end of the year, look back, because I promise you, you're gonna forget. Like, does anyone remember what they did in January? No. So definitely have that jar just to remind you of those accomplishments. Talking more about goals, guys, not everyone needs to rebrand. I see a lot of rebrand content. I've been trying to figure out a way to talk about it on like my Instagram, which if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on there, and TikTok. But I've been trying to find a way to talk about it because I think I see a lot of rebrand content, and people love rebrand content when people are like, I'm on my 5th rebrand, and it's like, whatever. And it's like, I'm like, some of us don't need to rebrand. I think like always pushing for a rebrand is kind of toxic because it's sort of putting you in this frame of always needing to improve. And as someone who does self-development content, I'm really trying to be, I feel like my type of content is not very preachy or very like, you need to do this and you need to try more and you need to do this. It's more just like relatable, like, hey, I know life's messed up. I know things are hard, but you know, this is what you can try. Like more encouraging and like with kindness. So I think something that I definitely want to talk about is just the rebrand, because we don't always have to be striving for something. I know self-development content is always like, you could do this better, you could be trying this, you could be doing this, but sometimes you don't have to. And I say this because, okay, let me just stop yapping and find my eyelash glue so I can keep going. My lashes is actually the hardest part of my makeup, so let me just shut up and get this done. Okay, I'll be right back. Lashes are on. I was talking about self-development content and how like there's always this push to reinvent yourself, to shed your old self, to always constantly be improving, and you're just never good enough. And sometimes like it's just about maintaining what you already have, like maintaining or just like picking one small area to improve on. I don't think you need to do a complete rebrand every single year. I think you need to come at it from a self-love perspective where you're like, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm going to get there and I'm working at it step by step. I don't think it needs to be a whole rebrand. I'm changing everything about myself. I think love yourself, because then you get to that position where it's like you're never happy with yourself, you're never happy with your life, because you're always like, well, everything would be great if I could change this one thing, and then next year rolls around and you have another thing you want to change for everything to be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're always going to be working towards something. Life is always going to have problems. I think sometimes we're fooled into thinking there are situations where everything's perfect, everything's running smoothly, everything's great at home, everything's great at work, everything's great in your relationship with your friends. There's always going to be something, right? You could be having a great time and then an issue comes up at work or something happens at your house. There's just always situations that you have to work through, and I think self-development gives you the tools to be able to get through different stages and chapters of your life. But there's never, don't be fooled into thinking you're ever going to get to a stage where everything's 100% okay, you're perfect, everyone in your life is perfect, your life is perfect, everything's perfect. It's never going to be that. So that's why I say, like, don't get into the habit of always having to find something about yourself to reinvent, or always get into the habit of needing to rebrand an area of your life. I want you to be like at a steady space, like loving yourself for where you are right now, recognizing what could be improved on, and you know, being kind to yourself as you work through those improvements. I would be very careful about consuming all these end of the year content, all these like 2026 new year, new me content. You know, it's gonna, for me, it's new year, same me, okay? And I love myself through it all. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as I was getting ready for this wedding. Let me know what you guys thought of this chit chat, get ready with me style. What did you think of all the topics I went through today? Let me know if you want me to talk about anything else in another video, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye, lovelies.